BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions, and this video is going to be a little weird since this is Mother's Day and this is going to be a 2-minute discussion. But when we see a video like this, the question becomes, wait, Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't have any relative or important mothers to the plot? But I'm looking through all 8 of Yu-Gi-Oh's history and series to make this list. And only on the fact that they're characters. This is not a list on top MILFs, so don't even ask. But weren't you going to do a video on Asian people in the porn industry? Well, no one voted for it. Fine, compromise. Watch this video, then watch that video when that comes out, and I'll make it. Fair? Fair. Alright, so let's get started. 15th place, Umimi Habara, aka Brooke Walker from Zexo. Wait a minute. She's not a mom. Oh no, she is. She's pregnant, so she counts for this list. It was sweet she taught Anna how to duel, and hey, proof that you can be a couple that plays Yu-Gi-Oh! And even though she's retiring, it's only because she's pregnant, and it's just going to be a break anyway. She supported her mentee Anna into her love for Yuma, and she proved she's sweet, kind, and tough while brainwashed. This soon-to-be mom makes the list. Number 14, Himika Akaba. Now, I'm going to be including moms on this list who aren't necessarily the best, but we are talking about characters and how them being moms makes them interesting. And I'd say Himika's interesting. She's trying to plan to defend an invasion against her ex-husband in Leo Akaba, but she's kind to her employees, a conflict maker with Reiji despite having good intentions, yet she treated Reira terribly. However, even she realized her daughter sacrificing herself to protect all reality was way too much and has grief over the cause of her treatment. Now desperate for their new incarnation to be happy. Reiji pointed out Leo leaving her played an impact on her ruthlessness, but at least she learned her error of her ways and was a pretty good parent to Reiji, which is why she made the list. Yuzu from the manga. Look, the idea of Yuzu being revealed in another timeline different from the anime to end up where she and Yusho dated, and the fact that she was basically supporting her 4 children together is actually pretty sweet when you judge it on its own merits. The only problem being the fan service and flirting aside. When you look at it as a family saving one another and being together, she's basically the heart that brings them together, so she makes 13th on this list. Cursed, isn't it? Number 12, Yugis Mom. Okay, yeah, she's the first, but even the anime and manga Yugi boomers know she's going to be low on this list, down to a lack of screen time. Plus, her hitting her son for being late to school. Good in the sense of teaching time management and responsibilities, but unnecessarily violence. But hey, at least she showed up to see her father-in-law when he came back from the hospital, and understandably concerned with her son talking to himself. Don't know why the English dub cut her out of the series though, that was weird. Number 11, Yuga's mom. Wait, Yuga had a mom? Yeah, she's got the opposite problem of Yugi's mom, where she's sweet. It's clear she raised Yuga well enough that he developed a love for technology and helping people, especially since those inventions help her deal with prank callers, reminds him to take his unfaithful spirit companion in Kaizo, wishes him safety before leaving, and being relieved upon his return. Though part of the reason why she's low on this list is that she could have shown a bit of hesitancy on her son going to space to face off against a talented former Konami executive. Huh. Maybe Otis really is a darker take on Kojima. And speaking of Rush anime, number 10, Dark Meister. Got Rush's 3rd season's first arc is interesting, since I'm still not done with the season yet. I'll catch up eventually, I know. But in terms of Dark Meister as a parent, yeah, putting her children in a situation where their existence is meant to counter the revival of another's is wild, but at the same time, she did care for her Dark Men and was working to create a future where they lived with her new personality taking over, only to have it stripped away thanks to someone else not being as trustworthy in the long run, unfortunately. But at least she cared and felt bad when they died, so that's why she makes number 10 on this list. Number 9, Mrs. Kawaii, aka Joey's mother, aka Jonochi's mother, aka Mrs. Wheeler, is interesting because her husband went into debt, drinking, and a toxic abusive husband mode, leaving her to file for a divorce. She got custody of Serenity in the process. Many people blame her for Joey being stuck to his life with his abusive father, and I don't inherently agree. Like, sometimes divorce settlements result in each one parent having the one child but not the other. Based on what we hear in episode 52, it's implied she also didn't see eye to eye with Joey, which was a factor, but they were eye to eye when Serenity, aka Shizuka, was involved. And they don't shy away from this. Her daughter wants them both there for the surgery, and she even gets locked out until Joey gets there. Thankfully, Joey's able to make it, and in terms of growth, she thanks Joey for getting the means for the surgery to happen in the first place, devoid of tension between mother and son. Considering she wasn't in the manga at all, it's pretty impressive that they actually decided to include her in the first place and actually flesh out their dynamic, which is why she's ninth place on this list. In 8th place is Mrs. Dojin, Kango's mother. From what we've learned, she was concerned about him being able to complete high school despite learning his father died, and that he was going to jump straight into a job instead of pursuing a higher education. However, the AI malfunction damaged her body. We don't know if she has recovered or been put in a wheelchair. But when you remember she took in Kango after her ex-husband divorced, you realize she raised Kango as a single mom while navigating divorce and him being separated from his sister. And yet, she still managed to get him through it, which you have to respect, which is why she's 8th place on this list. Number 7, Vector's mother. Vector's mother not being mentioned at all by most people, save for a few, is a huge shock, but think about it. Vector's mom helped raise Vector into a peaceful ruler to end the war, but her husband was not so happy about that. And when said father tried to off him, she intervened and sacrificed herself to save their child. Unfortunately, Dawn Thousand used this as a crutch to manipulate him into thinking he murdered his own parents, when that wasn't the case at all, but it shows how her impact caused Vector's personality change because of it. Number 6, Setsuko Izaoi. Setsuko's a weird case for me because osmosis would have you believe both Aki's parents were awful to her, but she would actually be at home taking care of Aki. Yes, she was afraid and stood by Hideo, but she was shocked by her husband's irrational treatment towards her powers. Granted, when they got to visit her in the hospital after the Arcadia movement building collapse and they hear that she's unconscious, Setsuko begs her daughter for forgiveness and chooses to stay with her while Hideo went to go ask for Yusei's help. Thankfully, after that conflict resolves, she sees her daughter getting ready to fight the Darksiders and is rightfully concerned, but Hideo gives her faith and encourages Setsuko to do the same. She shows up to support her daughter during the World Racing Grand Prix, and Setsuko and her husband not only cheer for her despite her loss, but after the Arc Cradle, where she's also cheering on them, she and him convince Aki to say a proper goodbye to her man. She made mistakes, but I'm also counting the importance of growth, and that's why she's 6th place on this list. Number 5, Haru Sukimo. What does no one count grandmothers? They're still the mothers of the mother of the protagonist. They count. She clearly raised Kazuma right, given how he raised Yuma so well. Sure, she's got her tough side and intimidation, but always does it for Yuma's well-being. Like, in general, and this goes for everyone, stop skipping out on breakfast. Take care of your mental health. Anyway, when Yuma's feeling off, she sends him to Roku to feel better, and she guesses Yuma's going to leave to get Ray back given how awkward he was acting, ensuring Lilybot gave him food so he have energy on his adventures. Considering she acted as Yuma's parent second to Akari but still tries to guide him, she made memorable time with Zexo's human moments and grounded time, and despite never being considered, she makes number 5 on this list. Number 4, Mai Sukimo. Yeah, the top 4 are ones that everyone puts high up, and 4th is the first parent of a Yu-Gi-Oh mom to have an actual name. Mirai, or Mira in the dub, Sukimo, and the first one we actually get to learn a little bit more about. True, she falls into the trap of being overshadowed by her husband, but compared to Yusei's mom, there's actually a lot more to say. Her being an adventurer is cool. She quelled Akari's jealousy about not being allowed to go with them on their journeys by taking her out to eat. She refused to cut her husband's rope, though thankfully he survived. And when Kari got jealous because she said to watch over Yuma's duels, Mirai rephrased it because if something were to happen to them, Akari would be the one in charge. And it's nice to have a mom to stop that type of jealousy within siblings, especially since neither parent has any bad intentions and she knows that Akari would step up to the role. She had enough personality on her bones and did things that a good parent should, so she makes number 4 on this list. Martha is somehow the most underappreciated woman on this list just because she's not a birth parent. And honestly, screw that. This woman has been a mother to orphan and homeless children across all of Satellite, including 3 out of the 4 enforcers and members of Team Satisfaction. She's still there for Yusei after his injury and surgery, points out Yusei can't do things alone, clear up Yusei's doubts about meeting with Aki and open his heart out, and not just letting what happened with Callan before affect him so badly, and then sacrifices herself to save children when Roman summons an immortal, asking Trudge to watch over them. She's funny, she's caring, gave great advice, and did everything for the kids that she raised. Put respect on Martha's name, and she makes number 3 on this list. Number 2, Yoko Saki. I feel like I don't need to say much on this one. When the dimensional rifts caused Yusho to disappear, she still took care of Yuya and always did her best to understand Yuya's issues and insecurities. Plus, she's a cat and dog lover. Her backstory makes her even more compelling since Yusho was able to save her without resorting to violence. Proved Michio wrong with her food creation helping Yuya out with his duel against Michio. And she gave her son a warrior therapist duel based on her backstory and also Smile World to trust her son, knowing that he'd come back to her. She's great, awesome, and takes second place on this list. First place, Mimi Itachi. Yeah, it's no surprise Mimi would take first place given how insane she is. This is a woman who suffers from dwarfism so bad she has to wear an I am an adult sign to go to a bar and gets neglected and dismissed at work due to her appearances. And yeah, she was harsh to her son for wanting to duel with Rush and thinking her son became a delinquent. But realizing Yuga wasn't this villain she made herself out to be in her head, that resulted in her fixing her mistake and since then has basically been the team mom for everyone in this show, even to her own child. She got Luke to help out Roman despite him still not forgiving her for being blackmailed. And despite being a Goha employee, she grew to care for the kids so much she got penalized because losing to her son was considered a loss on their side by the system. Something even Nail found out that was messed up and didn't even want to happen in the first place. She still decided to help out the heroes get through Goha's numerous times. She refused to attack Nail when the other Hexagon tops tried to ambush him, supported Princess G even though her company fired her, then had to deal with the President Drone and Goha siblings working her like a slave. And for the sake of her son and the others, she managed to work her way up from a Goha library receptionist after she got demoted to the most dangerous part of her company, sacrificed herself to save the Sogetsu trio from zombies in that challenge. And even after all they did for her, she still managed to get the Goha siblings back on their feet during the final arc and ends the show as the vice president so she could actually improve her corrupt company. She has had the most to do in any series out of any mom and somehow managed to be a fangirl with an episode about the importance of consent towards idols. This show, man. Mimi is crazy, ambitious, greedy, but with a heart to do anything for her son and help the next generation along the way. Her win record is low, but she's still a winner in our hearts and number one on this list. 2,150 words. I am never putting this much effort into a video ever again. How much more content and videos do I need to do this month? Oh yeah. Well, considering the other list on this YouTube was basically just going off aesthetics until we got to Yoko, I think I made my arguments pretty understandable, even if I know people are going to disagree. That being said, I'm recording this on Saturday, so you guys will see it tomorrow, but just wish your mom, grandma, and any friend or relative you know that's a mom a happy Mother's Day. They're literally half the reason you and I are alive, so enjoy. And BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions, signing off.